Good evening, people, and welcome to Thursday's edition of Community Health Screen UK. My name is Dr Makilas Mehmet Yesik, and tonight we're going to be talking about diabetes, and my guest will be Mr. AHMET HILMI, who'll be joining us shortly. Here he is. Hello, AHMET.
Hello, Mekella. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Thank you very much.
Enjoying the weather?
Yes, it's lovely out there. I hope
Yes.
it lasts.
Yeah, let's hope so. Well, it's good while we're locked down at the moment, isn't it?
That's true.
Right. Okay. I'd just like to introduce introduce you to the viewers who are watching at the moment. So basically, your name, obviously, I've said AHMET HILMI. I'd like you to talk about yourself a little bit, what you're about, and obviously the subject tonight is diabetes. It's going to be type 2 diabetes, so
that's correct.
You can elaborate a little bit about that for me. So start by talking about yourself a little bit, if you can.
Okay, I was born in Nicosia in 1958.
That's Cyprus, yeah?
Yeah, that's Nicosia, Cyprus.
That's fine, yeah.
Sicily.
Yeah,
sure. No. After graduating from Lefkoşa Türk Lisesi, I came to UK in '76 to study electrical engineering. Like my peers, I've worked in several industries. I did all the usual things, the fish and chips bars and the minicabbing and all the rest. Until in '88, I went into the City of London, started working there. I set up and run several companies in various parts of the world, like Mexico, New York,
wow.
Switzerland and UK. In 2011, I thought of running my own company. So I've set up a brokerage firm in London. And today I'm the chairman of the company. It's a family-owned company that trades foreign exchange and commodities. In around the year 2000, I've sort of had enough with the city. And I wanted to return back to university. So I went back to University of London and did my graduate and postgraduate degrees in history.
Okay.
So,
quite interesting.
Yeah. Growing up in Nicosia, you have history all around you.
Yeah, sure.
So I guess it was that background. So my research as an academic is on medieval women and their role in society.
Medieval women, was that?
Absolutely. That's my...
Oh, wow. Okay. That's interesting.
And I particularly look at women's roles in society under the law, you know, their network connections, etc. But I deal with Lusignan Cyprus, so medieval Cyprus.
Okay.
Over the past year, I have set up helped to set up two museums in Nicosia, two medieval themed museums in Nicosia, and I currently advise museums and antiquities department in Cyprus as a medieval historian. Apart from that, what can I tell you? I have 3 children, a cat. And
we all have a cat.
Yeah, and I have a season ticket to Tottenham Hotspurs.
Oh, wow.
Not exactly in that order, probably.
Oh, okay.
So that's it. And I spend my time in London, in Lefkoşa, and in Italy. That's it.
Okay. So you've got a bit of Italian descent in you as well, then?
Don't we all?
Yeah, that's right. We'll go down to genetics. Right. Okay. So we're going to start talking about diabetes, just so we can tell our viewers there's 2 types. There's type 1, there's type 2. Type 1 we're not going to talk about today because that's a bit more severe. We're going to talk about the one that we can reverse, which is obviously by the help of a GP or your practitioner, or by reversing it yourself naturally. And my first question would be, how and when were you diagnosed, and what did you do? How did you discover you were type 2 diabetic? Had diabetes, basically.
This is a very good question, actually. So diabetes runs in my family. Both my father and my mum were diabetic. My father died from diabetes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Related complication. So as I was growing up, obviously I was monitoring my dad regarding how he was going through life, and I guess all the signs were there. All my signs were really my father's signs.
Okay.
So I feared it. I feared that I'd get it, but you never take any notice when.
Okay.
So I was diagnosed at the age of 40, and one would
Oh,
say
that's quite,
it's
yeah, yeah,
a very young age to be diagnosed.
yeah, yeah.
But uh, I
What
guess I.
prompted, do you mind me asking you, what prompted you? Was it because of the fact that you'd lost your father, or did you think there was something going wrong in your body that you felt you had to get help?
Yes, there were changes that
Okay.
I noticed it and people around me noticed. Um,
Okay.
until we got there, I mean, I was just living my life like everybody else. I mean,
Right.
you
Eat,
know,
drink. Yeah.
well, working all hours a day,
Yeah.
a
Stress.
roller coaster of life, basically raising children and
Mm-hmm.
balancing it with work
Absolutely. Yeah.
and work schedules and
Mm-hmm.
all that sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Little time for exercise, little time
Yeah.
for sleep.
Sleep,
Um,
rest.
Absolutely. Little time for relaxation, really.
Mm-hmm.
You were
Mm-hmm.
always on the move. Bad sleeping habits, sleeping little, like less than
Mm-hmm.
6 hours a day,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, eating odd hours a day, and binge eating. For
Yeah.
example, coming home and then
Mm-hmm.
sitting down and binging all night long,
Mm-hmm.
effectively. All
Mm-hmm.
the wrong food. And
Mm-hmm.
as you know, as Cypriots, we have sweet tooth. So
Mm-hmm.
and we have a meat-based diet. Although we're
Okay.
an island race, we do have a meat-based diet. So I
Mm-hmm.
was more different. I mean, my problems were like every other person's problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that gradually my weight started increasing over the
Mm-hmm.
years. So in
Mm-hmm.
20 years, I went, I doubled in my weight. I went
Okay.
up to 105 kilos.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a nice thing for
Mm-hmm.
myself. So mentally it affects you
Mm-hmm.
because I don't believe I have pictures
Mm-hmm.
during that for that 20 years. My children have plenty of pictures. I took a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pictures with everybody, but
Mm-hmm.
I just you just don't like yourself,
Yeah, yeah, I get that. Of
right?
course, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So stressful life, as I said, and you don't have any time for doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that happens to you, oh, just take a paracetamol,
Mm-hmm.
it'll go away. That was the mentality.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So which year was you actually diagnosed, Ahmed? Do you mind me
which year?
asking?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
which year?
yeah. I mean, it was. I can tell you actually, 1998.
99. So talking about 22 years ago, yeah?
2 years
About
ago.
22
So
years ago.
at 40, suddenly I've noticed certain changes.
Were you
That
feeling thirsty? Were you feeling
most
lightheaded?
most
Yeah.
definitely.
And you were
Third
going to the toilet more often?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Sudden immense weight loss. I came down from
Mm-hmm.
105 all the way down to 90, and I thought
Mm-hmm.
there is something wrong here. You shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I was craving for sweet things, so I
Mm-hmm.
love all the lokmas and the shammali and
Yeah, all the Turkish sweets. The
chocolate
ones you're supposed to have at Bayram and no other time. That's
all the
right.
time. Absolutely. I mean, I used to drive to work to the city, and on the
Mm-hmm.
way, and before I got to the office, I'd stop at Yashar Halim and buy some, and on the way back home, I'd stop and buy some, and at the corner shop, I'd actually stop and buy bars of chocolate. Now,
Okay.
they should have told me that there is something wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and as you said, constant need to go
Mm-hmm.
to the toilet to pump
Toilet and
out.
drinking water
So,
and stuff like that. Were you feeling tired within yourself?
most definitely. I mean, I
So,
didn't
like,
have any.
like feeling withdrawn and sort of fatigued and everything?
Totally. And the other thing that I had was chest pains.
Okay,
I,
that's not a good sign.
it
Yeah.
certainly was.
Mm,
I had chest pains and more than anything, breathlessness.
yeah. Hmm.
So, I mean, I couldn't climb up 2 stairs to
Hmm.
find those
That's
stairs.
one of the signs usually, yeah.
Absolutely. So, one day I had an appointment with my GP, and he basically confirmed that I was a borderline diabetic.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, having lost a parent a few years back,
Hmm.
um, naturally this affected me.
Hmm.
Uh, mentally, it affected me.
Of course, yeah.
Right. So one of the most difficult things, I guess, was that the family network that you have around you, particularly Cypriots, we are very stoic in our approach
Hmm.
to illnesses.
Yeah, yeah.
So you didn't have a network that basically took care of you and guided you through these initial years.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying typical response was, Bakbe, Amjang is 90 years old and he's still walking and he's still in his garden.
The old mentality.
Absolutely. And, and you'd go to visit friends and neighbors and family, and they'd say to you, don't worry, you just take another metformin, extra metformin for the day.
Oh my God, that's so wrong.
That is how it started with me, and that's how it was.
Okay. So. Right. Okay, right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you the next question. Let's have a look. What changes did you have to make? Why? And was it difficult? So you've been diagnosed now by your GP. What was your initial reaction?
Shock.
Did he sort of say, I'm going to prescribe you some metformin, or did he say to you, I'm going to put you on a diet and this is what you're going to have to do? What was your interaction with your GP like?
There was, all he said basically was, you're a borderline diabetic, but guess what? I'm going to give you such a strong dose of metformin.
Really? That was his attitude?
It's going to kill it off. Right?
Really?
And you know what? It was hell. Initial weeks were like that until I went back to him and said, look, I cannot stand. The medication, medication is making me drowsy and all sorts of things. And then he actually dropped it. I remember it was 6,000 milligrams of metformin.
That's quite a high dose.
Oh, I mean, you wouldn't give it to a horse, never mind a human being. So we dropped it. We dropped it afterwards. But after the initial shock, I guess I did not try hard enough. Truth to be told. Once the shock was over, I mean, having small children and a large mortgage and a work commitment that you're trying to build your career,
of course.
I went back to the old routine. Every now and again, when people would comment on my weight or comment on something, I would get into a diet. So I must have tried every single diet under the sun, from pineapple diet, the Beverly Hills, to Millennium diet, every diet for 5 minutes.
Right? It didn't last.
None of them lasted. So that was me. And without a support network around you, really, it doesn't matter how educated you are. You still need that support network in order to guide you through and just bring you back every now and again. And that's what I didn't have. So once all the goodwill was gone, you end up believing that as long as you take your daily tablets, you'd be okay.
Okay. And did you read into anything? Did you consult a dietitian or anything like that? Was your GP refer you to one, or?
This is another interesting question. No, for a long time, you see, diabetics or this illness was not on GP's radar. Back in early 20s, you didn't 2000s, you didn't have dietitians that came to you and looked after you, etc. I mean, I went for the yearly test, usual yearly test. I went for the feed check and eye retina.
Eye test, the retina check,
Absolutely, I did all those things.
Macular degeneration, you had all that done.
I still do it once a year.
Yeah, that's right.
Really concerned about my eyes, naturally. So I went through all these usual things, but I was not offered any professional advice apart from, take this leaflet and read about it.
That's terrible.
So that's what it was until January 2019. To me, it's I would say like St. Paul's Damascene conversion. You see the light, and the light was. I went for my yearly checkup with a diabetic nurse at my GP, and she mentioned to me that Whittington Hospital runs a program, self-management program for diabetes and chronic illnesses that covered Haringey.
Okay.
And they had some funds, and they said it's an 8-week program. It's very intense, once a week, but it's a very intense program. We would like you to attend because in the 20 years you've done absolutely nothing. right? So there's nothing more we can do for you. It's either you're going to learn how to treat yourself, or manage yourself, or that's it, basically.
We can't help you anymore, basically. You have to help yourself. Yeah, sure.
But I mean, I can come back to that in a second with you.
Yeah, sure.
So that's how it started.
So you waited like when you was initially diagnosed in 22 years ago, you left it for a while, went back to your old habits, and then about a year ago you decided, I'm going to fix this. Is that right?
Do you know? Yes.
Why did you leave it 19 years?
As I said, the life got in the way.
Yeah, life gets in the way.
This is not an excuse. By the way, it's not an excuse. And
of course,
I will never use that as an excuse for me. But it was.
You know, your children could be watching right now and saying, that's our father over there. That's our dad.
Absolutely. They usually do.
Yeah.
They usually do. But I mean, they will know. I mean, because they suffered. I mean, in fact, it's not you that just suffers.
Yeah, of course. It's your family suffers as well, no matter what the illness or addiction or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It affects everybody differently, and it affects the whole family.
It affects the whole family. You know, they want to go out. They want to go out to play, but you're too tired to take them out.
Yeah,
you know,
I get
things
that.
like this, you know, small things like this. So they certainly suffered as well. But I guess things have changed since then. So.
Do you read labels on ingredients now and in shops when you purchase something?
Since January, look, I'm like I guess I'm like a ex-addict that I actually remember the date that I actually changed my life over.
Well, so, that's the best way.
Absolutely. And in January 19, when I started going to this, they actually introduced me to the traffic light system. Now, this traffic light thing is the labeling that you see.
That's correct. That's right.
The green, yellow, and red.
Yeah.
Believe me, now I religiously look at everything. So yes, it is usually.
So you read labels and you look at things.
Yeah, it's a skim milk and it's a low fat everything and all sorts of things. So yes,
brilliant.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. We've sort of covered a bit about the dietitian and the GP thing, so I'll skip question 3. I'm going to go to question 4. Basically, what challenge did you find when you tried to change your diet with the foods, the taste, the different regime? Because obviously you've got a bit of Italian, you've got a bit of Cypriot, Turkish. You've travelled many countries. Did you find it difficult to sort of adapt to certain foods?
Most definitely. Initially, you see, I actually lost the taste for food.
Okay.
I don't know whether anyone else have a similar experience. But
we'll find out if we get some questions. We'll find out. Yeah, definitely.
So I did lose the taste of food, but you see, I don't know whether this was psychosomatic or it was genuine from the intake of tablets.
Okay, it's probably metformin doing that. Probably, yeah. It can do that sometimes.
I do recall, however, when my dad, rest in peace, telling me that once he became diabetic, he lost his taste of food. But then I look back. When I look back, my goodness, you know, I ate everywhere, and I never complained about the taste of food.
Yeah.
So maybe it was psychosomatic.
Okay.
Back then. So. As I said, I went through all manner of diets as well, you know, just to improve myself. That didn't work. And
what foods would you say you cut out? What sort of foods did you cut out?
Well, one of the things I tried to do at the time, and I couldn't.
What about sugar?
Sugar, I reduced it. Not fully.
Completely.
Not completely. As I said, we have sweet tooth. Now, I don't even drink that much coffee a day. You know, I get up in the morning and I'd make. I still don't know how to make a Turkish coffee, but I can make a mean espresso. So I make few espressos, and that's basically it. But I even try those as a decaffeinated ones, and try to put in very small. Sugar, but it wasn't just that. It was the sweet tooth for me. You know, as I said, you go and buy shamishi, you know, and you don't buy one to eat a week. You know, you buy several, and and I love, like all Cypriots, carbohydrates, all manner of bread. the çöreğs and the hellimli and zeytinli and all that. I love all that sort of thing. So it's just the usual trades. So that was me. I and none was successful. I tried to change my diet from meat based to pulse based, for example.
Oh, that's good. Like more legumes, yeah.
It didn't work.
Okay. Why didn't it work? Did you not persevere with it?
Because in our diet, in our Cypriot diet, you do, for example, fasulye yahni, right? Bean stew, right? But you throw in the lamb,
potatoes.
Right? Well, potatoes is potatoes, and then lamb you put in or whatever, and in everything, and you do molohia and you throw in lamb again. So
I do mind with that because I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for 27 years, but that's me, and that's a Cypriot person. So yeah.
No, I actually, until I came to the UK, I was a vegan, and I've never eaten eggs or chicken in my life to this day. But lamb and beef, I obviously ate. Once I came to this country. Whilst in Cyprus, I was fine. As I said to you, my weight was really low. I was fit, I was exercising, etc. So it was these things that changes that I tried. But looking back, I guess I did everything not wholeheartedly. So
you said your network of friends and family didn't support you when you needed to.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's have a look. And my fifth question to you would be, being Turkish Cypriot, most of us have diabetes anyway. Most of the people around us, like Italians, Turkish, Greek, what have you, will have diabetes at some stage or other in their life. What other obstacles did you have alongside this? Did you have things like high blood pressure, cholesterol? Were you diagnosed with anything like that?
Yes, I didn't have cholesterol. I had high blood pressure.
Okay. So and how did you bring your high blood pressure down?
Oh, I bring it down number of ways. Sleeping habit changed, right?
So more rest.
More rest. Actually, more rest is the thing, and exercise.
What exercises did you do?
Yeah. Oh, I walk to start with, and I try to walk 5 miles a day. So I usually work from home, and once my work is finished, I take off from here and go all the way to either Haringey or to Tottenham or to Crouch End, and I genuinely love walking, and that's my exercise. Before, I used to go to watch Spurs, taking my car and parking it in their parking bay. For the past I actually walk through the park and all there. So that gives me the 5 miles. So that's but the biggest obstacle we have as Cypriots is our social culture and gastronomic culture. That's our biggest problem. So for an island nation, I mean, that's really well done. You are you're vegetarian, but not a lot of us are.
Yeah. I'm more plant-based, but that's just me, plant-based and organic. I don't eat processed foods, which I think helps because I know from my father and my mother both having diabetes and cholesterol, high blood pressure and all that, I didn't want to be in the same boat as they are in their 60s and 70s. So I thought the only way I'm going to reverse it is if I take the action that I did 25 years ago. So at the age of 25, I decided to go the other way. So not go with this Turkish diet that they have, the high meat, the high carbs, the starchy food, the sugars, the shamalis, the paklavas. So I changed all that.
Absolutely. So, and I'm involved with people like that. Trust me. When I see people that they do it when they are still young, not that you're not, but that's
half a century.
Well,
I'm half a century, so there you go. 50 years.
Aren't we all? So, I mean, for an island nation, as I said, and unlike the Greeks, fish doesn't play.
Fish is very good for you. It has the essential fatty things that we need from our diet, the omegas, the 3, 6, and 9s. So a fish-based diet would be far better.
but you know, coming from Lefkoşa, I mean, if I was from Limassol or something, fish would have been part of my diet. But genuinely, in Nicosia, where is the lake? Where is the sea? So we didn't have, you know, growing up in a ghetto, effectively, you didn't have that. So as you said, I mean, our culture was mangal and kebab. You know,
It still is, yeah.
pardon.
It still is to this day. I've seen so many people recently during lockdown putting their barbecues on with their meat and everything, but
Yep.
don't see anybody putting their mushrooms or their, you know,
No.
their salmon or their sea bass.
Not at all. And unlike the Italians and the Southern French, actually, we have far sweeter tooth than them. And they have all the sweets as well, but they don't take it. And although Italians, for every single meal, has 3 courses, I don't remember it. I mean,
they are very healthy. They are very healthy, and they do actually have a lower diabetes rate amongst them. You know, and they do live to 81 years old. The average age for an Italian is 81 years old.
Oh, I know. My my father-in-law died at a very, very old age. But as I said, what they eat small portions.
That's right.
They have 3 courses in a meal, but they have small. Everything is in a small portion. And what I've learned also, each portion is like your fist. If you hold your fist, that's the size of the portion.
That's the size of your stomach, ideally.
And the size of your stomach. And that's what I learned from there, although I didn't put it in practice, but that's what I learned. So for us, carbohydrates take up a lot.
Yeah, something we need to educate people about, but definitely.
And finally, we don't walk anywhere. It's more convenient for us to drive somewhere than walk. Italians, on the other hand, does something else. They have cycle and walk after their meal, evening meal. The entire family put on their Sunday dresses and they go for a walk. And they call this passeggiata. And what it does, it helps to break down the food that they've eaten.
Right. It digests quickly.
So that's there.
Yeah, definitely. Right. What else I was going to ask you, AHMET, if I can. How do you feel in yourself, and how would you educate those in your community to make changes? We've sort of like covered a little bit, but I'd like you to explain, because we've got like about 5 minutes left now.
5 minutes. I'll just go through this quite fast, actually.
No. Take your time. It's fine.
Okay. So, although we are in a lockdown at the moment and self-isolation, I've never felt more healthier.
Really?
And fitter.
That's good to hear. That's very promising. That's very reassuring.
Seriously, I'm not saying it just to get brownie points. So how do I? And so for over the year, basically, I now take regular meals instead of meals any time of the day. Keep an eye out for my portion sizes. I reduce my fat and sugar intake. I drink 2 liters of water a day.
Okay. Ideally, 3 would be better.
Really?
3 is ideal. Yeah, 3 is minimum. So it's 3 of the big bottles.
Exercise regularly, as I explained to you. I try to walk 5 miles a day for 5 days a week. Cut out meat in favor of pulses. Again, it helps to control sugar levels. Maintain and reduce my weight. And since the lockdown, I was 90 now. I've come down to 80 in a couple of months.
Brilliant. That's fantastic.
Well, nearly 3 months, actually. So that's going the right direction.
Absolutely.
6 hours a day sleeping, and understand my numbers.
Okay.
As a diabetic, we should know what our hemoglobin should be.
And obviously visiting your GP regularly to get regular checks like blood pressure, sugar levels, full blood counts.
Absolutely. So that your finger test, when you do it, should be 6.9 average, and your hemoglobin HbA1 should be 48 or 6.5%. So as a result, you feel far more energetic and far more healthy. So as for the education, and this is the nub of your question.
This is the lecturer talking now, yeah?
No, sorry. So as for education, here we have a great deal to do within our society, within our community. And particularly after this COVID that I saw really are are best of us really just depart from coronavirus. And when I look at it, there tends to be a chronic illness behind the whole thing. So maybe I'm wrong here, but firstly, I feel that we should make sure that no one in our community should suffer diabetes or any chronic illness on their own.
That's right.
This is a must. We must do all we can to help the community or our elders, I would say.
Yeah.
In this sense.
Or educate the younger ones.
Absolutely. So we should be able to set up self-management programs such as the one that I went on, and I found the benefits basically in order to train people. And this should be lengthy, it should be regular, and it should have a regular follow-up in order that people do not slip back to their old
habits.
Old habits. So in these programs, I would say we can manage our health successfully, both medically, socially, and emotionally. We should learn to use all these to sort ourselves out. So we should set goals. They should be reachable goals.
Realistic goals.
Really, absolutely realistic goals. They should be realistic. We should plan how to get there, and we then keep going until our goals are reached. So some of the goals could be losing weight, having longer sleep, eating sensibly, stop binge eating, taking regular exercises. And if you do all these, I'm most certain that we are going to
succeed. You're going to succeed.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So, what I was going to say was, the difference between the acidic and the alkaline diet. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I can post something later on when the show is finished for people to do. Today, what I did before we came online, what I did was during the course of a day on Facebook, I sent some stuff over on my thread. So if you want to copy and paste, feel free to share them or onto any other groups that you're a member of. But basically going for an alkaline diet where your diet is less bread, less rice, less pasta, more greens, more fruit, more pulses, more fish, more poultry, more protein based, as opposed to, because you still need fish, you still need eggs, you still need cheese, you still need milk, you need all those things for amino acids, and our body relies on that to sort of like function properly. And obviously nuts, and nuts is another one. So if you're going to have a bar of chocolate, make sure it's 70% or above in the consistency. So plain dark chocolate is better than milky, sugary whole nut. So things like that, basically. Well, it's true. I remember what we said when we first met back in March on the show. Having chocolate cake for breakfast makes you lose weight. So yeah, that was a thing that we said, didn't we?
I'll remember that.
There you go. Yeah. I'll share it later. I'll share it on my Facebook later on. Is there anything you'd like to finish off with, Hilmi?
I just want to say something just to finish this off. Yes, uncontrolled diabetes, I feel, is a silent killer.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
It reduces one's immune system. So when pandemics come and epidemics come, you are not strong enough, basically. And it doesn't matter our social background for these. They would devastate anyone and everyone. So we have to acknowledge our condition first and foremost. You don't just hide it away. You just don't ignore it. I'll take another tablet and it'll be fine. We have to have a care plan. We have to have a care plan in partnership, I would say. And in my view, this is only achieved through education. And coming after this coronavirus, hopefully we can set up something for the community. So if and when the next one comes along, we are going to be strong enough to face it.
Basically, vitamin D, vitamin C, and just staying healthy and staying alert, as Boris Johnson says, staying alert. Absolutely. So, yeah. So, okay. It was nice having you on my show, AHMET. Thank you very, very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so, so much. Thank you to all our viewers who've been watching this evening. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we can see them again next week. Well, I'll see them next week anyway. But thank you, AHMET. Anyway, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and thank you to all our viewers. Thank you so much. See you next Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bellona'dan büyük indirim. Şık tasarımlarıyla ev hanımlarımızın hayalini süsleyen Venti yatak odası takımı Bellona şubelerinde sizleri bekliyor. Bronz aynası, dairesel kulp tasarımı, yerden yüksek yapısıyla temizliği kolay, storage alanıyla fazlalıklarınızı saklayabileceğiniz Venti yatak odası takımı yalnızca 2395 pound. Evet, yanlış duymadınız. 5 kapılı Venti yatak odası takımı 3700 pound yerine şimdi yalnızca 2395 pound'a sizleri bekliyor. Hadi hemen 266-270 Enfield High Street ve 219-221 Lewisham